Hey there, welcome to Concept Hunter. Today we're going to talk about Sideomorph, which is a quite interesting puzzle platformer that does a standard gravity mechanic, but in a quite unique, interesting way. We're going to jump right into the tutorial. We move with the left and right arrow keys. We can jump with the S key, but also with the up arrow key, which thank you so much for allowing that. That's wonderful. And we can press A in order to put our hands up and actually push the side of the cube. So this isn't just a standard screen. We're actually on a 3D cube, which is pretty cool tech, I think. But what it is effectively is just a gravity mechanic. You know, it just changes the gravity and moves the cube along. But it does limit us in the sense that I need the edge of the screen. I can't actually push this now wall, previously floor side. I need actually to be on the edge of the screen in order to push it, which limits the player and also allows for quite interesting level design. So here we're still at the tutorial, we just gotta move this around, and you can see that it says push at the end of a side. That actually I just screwed myself over, so I have to do this all over again. But what actually this means, other than just being a gravity mechanic, it's a unique gravity mechanic. Because even if your mind kind of already knows how to deal with gravity mechanics because it's in so many games, because it's done in such a unique way, it's a little bit different, or at least that's how I felt about it. What also happens is that you will definitely get stuck quite a lot because it's very easy to make a wrong turn and then just you cannot continue anymore. And this brings out pressing R in order to restart. The first thing I have to say is note how quick this is, which is absolutely perfect. This is how a restart should be. It's just, oh, I screwed up, bam, instantly back to the beginning of the level. But that's also one of the issues, the beginning of the level. And though we are limited in the size of the level, and note that I can move this around, which is what we discovered quite here, though it's just a six-sided die, levels can still get quite complex and with quite a lot of pushing and of moving of the entire die. And if you screw up once, one tiny little mistake, and you restart the entire level, that gets annoying. That actually breeds quite a lot of frustration, and I found it happening to me, which is, oh, come on, that was just a small mistake, and I have to restart the entire level. The obvious kind of thing that you could do about it is just put up checkpoints. You know, once you go through a certain key point, you just put up a checkpoint. And I also thought about maybe doing like an undo function for the last rotation, but I'm not really sure if that'll work well, and I really don't know. It's a decision, and it's things that you need to really test out. But that was my main complaint and main annoyance in terms of this game, the main frustration that I got out of it. I want to talk for a second though about the fact that I could do this. And first of all, in terms of the tech, I already said it's cool. This is even cooler. The fact that I could really just look around and see supposedly the entire level is really cool. It's not incredibly useful. I find myself not really using it and just kind of playing through the game and going with the motions of what makes sense to me. But the ability to do it is pretty cool, and it does kind of stops you and makes you really think. This is a puzzler, you know? So you could actually, and it brought to mind people solving a Rubik's Cube. Usually when you see them just look at it for a while and then, okay, I know how to solve this, and then they solve it. So it kind of felt a little bit like that. This is a puzzler. So where's the exit? What do I need to exactly do? Okay, I got it, and now I'm moving on. And notice that I'm doing this with the mouse. So there's also this dissonance, there's also this separation. I'm playing the game right now, both my hands are on the keyboard, and then I stop for a second, and I want to take a look with the mouse, and then I go back to playing. And I thought that was really cool. I don't know how intentional that was, but it felt really good to me, really puzzly for me. And then, aside from the restart thing that I didn't like, there was one thing that I just found really odd. And it's, I have to jump over the standard levels that we have here, and I do want to say one thing. Please note that you could just get the chest, but there's also a lot of more additional content, which I think is quite adorable. You see there's a diamond, so you could go through the level normally, or you could do a diamond run, which requires you to jump. There's no timer, though it feels like this is something that should be with a timer, but you just have to hit these crates in the specific order. So it is exactly the same level, but you get to do more with it, which is really cool. There's a lot of content in this game. But the weird thing that was done here is with the boss. And I found that really odd. Bosses usually do two things. Usually. Not always. But it's either a new something new that you have to just tackle with the knowledge that you have, or usually it's just a a little bit extra challenge or a very precise way of making the player deal with everything that he has learned up to that point. And what this thing is, that's an amulet part. You're actually, there's a story, it's cute, but we're focusing on the mechanics here of the mage sending you into this cube in order to retrieve the amulet parts. So there's this caterpillar, and now I'm just running away from it. And you have these blocks that are just kind of disappearing, and you don't really know what to do. I'm just running away, and now I'm stuck, so maybe I need to turn or something and use the push. Note that there were quite a lot of options for me to push the stage around, but I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to do here. And I am on a timer, so it's not really a level where you just look around, because I have no idea what's going on, especially with these black cubes that will go away at times that are unknown to me. So they are different, but in a sense they're not entirely different. And if you actually look at the caterpillar, it's a little bit said, but not entirely, that you actually the last point is actually in different color. So yeah, you need to actually jump on top of it, but it's not telegraphed well enough, I feel. If it was red and glowing, then that would be much more obvious, but it isn't. And I'm just gonna stand here and jump on it, though there's a lot of other options, and I can actually continue here. And then things change, and also normal blocks also change, and then we get a rotation that was not up to me. Well, it just happened. So there's so many different things that are happening, so many options, but only very specific options are the correct ones. And I've never done this before. I feel like you're flinging so many things at me, and also it's timed, so I'm not really know what I'm supposed to do, and I don't have time to think. And up to this point, this was a puzzler. Up to this point, I was supposed to just think and then act, but now I'm on a timer, and I feel there's just so many. I feel this is not thought out properly enough. And this is actually how you beat this guy, which took me quite a long amount of time. It really took me a long time because there's so many things you could do, and I just tried things out. This is completely trial and error. This is not a puzzle level in any way, and that was really odd to me. I understand that the boss is supposed to be unique and cool, but it was just not a puzzler. It was completely different, and it felt out of place for me. It felt like completely different. And I also managed to get him completely stuck. There was a couple of bugs because there's so many options here. He just kind of synced out and walked through some walls, and I was stuck, and I just have to restart, and and not much I could do there. So when you move worlds, there are actually other things. You can see there's a box there. Also, it looks a little bit different, which is cute. But there's a box there. It's not the standard box that you can move around. It's a box that's it's completely stationary. And usually, there's just a tiny little thing that I wanted to say. Wooden boxes you could usually take and move with your character, and like metal boxes are usually just there and you can't do anything. So if it was a metal box, I'd feel more confident about that. I can't move it, I can't pick it up, and I can't push it or anything. But that's just a tiny little quirk. So I really like Sideomorph. There's a lot here. It's a cool, fresh way for me to deal with gravity mechanics. But then there's a couple of things that are just odd to me. And then the restart was, I don't know, kind of harsh. I just felt kind of frustrated at times to restart the entire level. So this is it's pretty cool. I feel you need to just think about the design a little bit more. It's called Sideomorph. It's by Mads Anthony. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.